Howdy, howdy. Chris here, back in the garage today, continuing with our Back to the Basics video series, where we'll be discussing clear coat application, gun settings for clear coat, and different techniques that are going to help you get the best results possible when you're spraying your vehicle. So we're not going to talk too much today about different types of clear, but just so you know, different clears are going to spray differently. So you've got high solids clear, you got medium solids clear. Different types of clear, different brands of clear are going to spray differently. So you want to be flexible with your gun settings and your spraying techniques at all times. The first thing we want to talk about is the gun settings and getting the perfect clear coat atomization. This is key in getting the type of finish that you're looking for. Setting your gun up for the perfect atomization is not always as easy as it sounds, because conditions change from day to day. Temperatures change and your gun settings are going to change as well. You need to understand that your fluid adjustment and your air pressure and then your fan size is going to affect the atomization of the clear coat. Those three things have to work together to get that perfect atomization. And then your speed and your distance when you apply the clear coat is what's going to affect how that clear coat lays down, how smooth you get it, whether you get orange peel or whether you get dry spray. If you understand that and understand that your fluid volume and your air pressure control the atomization of that clear as it comes out the gun and how to adjust that to get the perfect atomization, then you can adjust that gun depending on the conditions you're spraying in. Depending on the spray gun you're using, it may be set up differently. The main difference in setting up your gun is you may have a gun that has a side fan control. This fan control on this Innocraft Drizzle D1 is up here. So this is your fan control. If you narrow your fan pattern, you're going to raise your air pressure. If you narrow your fan pattern, your air pressure at the cap is going to be higher. Okay. This is your fluid volume. This controls the amount of paint or clear coat that comes out of the gun. And here is your air pressure setting. Now, there is a knob on the bottom of this gun. This controls the amount of air coming out of the gun, but you want this to be opened up all the way if you're using an air regulator. So what I always like to do when I'm setting up my gun for paint or clear coat is I set my fluid volume first. The reason I do this is because I'm spraying in an open garage. I don't want a lot of overspray. A lot of guys will just open up this fluid volume all the way so they have as much fluid coming out as possible. Those guys are usually in a spray booth, so they've got a lot of overspray. They've got a lot of ventilation going. I don't want to be painting in a cloud of overspray. And you can still get good atomization with a lower fluid volume. Atomization has to do with your air pressure and your fluid volume. So I set my fluid volume first. Typically it's about 2.5 to 3 turns out on this particular gun. If you're spraying with a different gun, it may be a little bit different. Then I adjust my air pressure. I usually do a test spray. I want it to come out medium wet. If it's coming out dry, I know I need to either lower my air pressure. If it's coming out dry and I lower my air pressure, this is going to increase the amount of fluid that's hitting that panel. If I'm getting dry spray, I'm over atomizing my clear coat. I also could increase my fluid volume and get the same effect. If I increase my fluid volume, that gives me more material for that air to atomize, and that's going to give me a wetter finish. If you're getting dry spray, you can adjust it with your air pressure or your fluid volume. Now, if I spray my clear coat and it's orange peely or looks heavy, that means I'm getting too much material and it's not getting atomized efficiently. In that case, what I need to do is lower my fluid volume. That's going to help this gun to atomize the amount of clear that's coming out of this gun better. You're going to get a finer atomization and a better finish. You also could adjust your air pressure up, and that's going to give you more air to atomize that clear coat and give you a flatter finish. I hope you understand that. If you have any questions about that, leave them in the comments below. Now let's talk about your speed and your distance and your spraying technique.
Today we're going to use the Sagola clear gun with the Altair light. This Altair light's going to come in really handy painting this bumper and painting these quarter panels because there's a lot of little dark areas. It is silver. We have our fluid volume set at 3 turns out from closed. Our fan pattern's wide open. I'm going to start with 22. We'll see how that does, okay?
Okay, we're getting ready to lay down the clear. The first thing I do is I do a little pass. I check out the clear, take a look at it, see if I'm getting good atomization. If I'm getting good atomization, I'll continue spraying. If I need to make adjustments, I'll make some adjustments right there. So the other part of good application is your speed and your distance. So your distance is going to affect how that clear coat lays on the panel. If you spray a little bit closer, you're going to get more material on the panel. It might flow out a little bit better. If you get a little bit farther away, it might be too dry. So you want to find that perfect distance to spray at where you're getting the finest atomization atomization possible. So adjusting your speed kind of works in the same way. If you're getting too much material on that panel, it's coming out heavy. If you were to speed up your passes, you're going to get less material on that area as you're making your passes. So it's going to thin it out, and it's going to help you get a better finish. Now, it also works if you're not getting enough material on the panel and you slow down your passes. That's going to get more material on the panel and help you get a better finish that way. So you don't want to overlook your speed and your distance, because that does affect how that clear coat lays on the panel. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you're overlapping your passes about 70 to 80%. So when you make a pass, you'll come back over that previous pass about 70 or 80%. This is going to give you a consistent clear coat finish. And I encourage you guys to experiment with this. Spray a test panel, experiment with your gun settings, your speed, and your distance. All this is going to help you become a better painter, and it'll make you more aware of how these things affect your paint job. These are the basic things you want to think about when applying clear coat. Your fan pattern, your air pressure, your fluid volume, the atomization of your clear, and then your speed and your distance, and then overlapping your passes the correct amount. If you master those things, that's going to get you a long way. There's a few other variables that we're going to talk about in future episodes, but those are the basics. And if you get those nailed down, you're going to have great success. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you watching. I would love to make more of these videos and do this full time for you guys, but I need your help. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely smash that subscribe button, like this video, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know if this video was helpful for you. Let's take a good look at this paint job. Overall, I think it came out beautifully, has a few minor imperfections and dust particles. We can correct that, but this Sagola clear gun, this 4600 clear gun, performed beautifully. That gun lays down a beautiful looking finish with a 1.3 tip. Listen up, I appreciate all the support, and remember, you can't finish your project if you don't get in the garage and make some noise. We'll see you on the next episode.